Good evening, folks. We're here again today with Fixing Everything channel. We're going to show you how to replace your fuel pump and sending unit complete on a 2005 Chevrolet Equinox with a 3.4 liter. First thing you want to do is disconnect your battery terminal. Take the cap off of your shredder valve. Pressing the little button like a little air valve. Watch your eyes, put a rag around it. Discharge the fuel system. Jack your vehicle up or have it on ramp stands, secured by blocks and everything else, because you're going to have to get up underneath it. Alright. First thing you're going to want to go ahead and do, after you get it jacked up and secure and in good positions, you climb up underneath and look at the tank in front of the tire. You're going to need to take this line loose off the charcoal canister, this line loose that goes up and above the tank, and then you have a wire connector just above the charcoal canister that should have a little red retainer clip on top of it to hold the clip on and hold the actual connection together. You can reach up from this side here and actually disconnect that wire. These, you press the two hoses together as tight as you can, and you squeeze in the blue clip on this side and the blue clip on the opposite side and separate in between here. Sometimes I use a pair of pliers. These are the same way to open that, to release it, to get it off. This is the same way here. Pressing the two white clips on each side. Pull back the clip up top to pull the wiring harness off. You just reach up there, pull the little pink lock off the top of your actual connector lock. Then you can put a screwdriver in it on this side, lift up on it and pull back. Do not pull on the wires because you can pull them loose. Okay, now make sure that your system is completely discharged or have something that you can catch the fluid in, because when you take this one loose here, this is the fuel side of it, this one will leak fuel. Then after that, you're going to have to take your 13mm strap bolts off on both sides of your strap, the front of the strap here and the back of the strap there on both sides. You're going to have to take your drive shaft bolts loose. They're 15mm here, 13mm again there, and again another 13mm at the carrier bearing. You do not have to take the drive shaft completely out, but you can take that all loose so you can set the drive shaft out of your way. Then the next thing you will need is your 15mm for your exhaust flange. You see I've already sprayed it with a little goober lube. I'm going to spray it with some more because it's almost dried up. Boy, that was some good stuff there, huh? Okay, anyways, you'll go ahead and take your exhaust hangers loose by taking them loose right there at your rubber hangers. You'll have one there and one on that side of the muffler and one on this side of the muffler, and pull the muffler completely out from underneath the car and get it out of your way, because you're definitely going to need that as the room. Then you're going to need to also, as far as hoses and connections, where the fuel fill-up tank hose is and where the fuel pump power module wire, you're going to have to come up here. This is just above the rear axle, right behind the tank on the passenger side. You're going to have one of them special locking clips here, a little red clip. You slide out of it, then you can lift up on this here and pull your plug apart. You don't necessarily have to pull the plug out of the frame holder, but I do. You'll have two like ventilation for the evaporation tube you see up front. It runs all the way down through here. To get this lock off, what I normally do is I stick a screwdriver right in there and and push that little triangle lip back this way, and the same thing on the other side. As I'm using a screwdriver or a pair of pliers to get in between here and push the hose backwards. This one here is a little bit more simpler. It's just got the little black clips on both sides of it. Press up on two sides of the lines, press both clips on the black clip, pull it down. And that's all you should have to remove in the back besides your filler tank tube hose. And I take it loose here at the actual filler tank side of it, so that way no fuel can spill out of it if you have fuel. I'm going to drain this before I actually put it back in. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take everything down. There's your other tank strap band, 15mm. Tank strap band bolt, 15mm on the front of it. Place your jack up underneath your dust shield, because see it has a hump in it. Just place the jack in between there and lower, because you're actually going to lower the tank down by the front of the tank that's closest to the front of the vehicle at an angle first before you lower the back, because the back is going to catch on top of the rear axle differential housing, and it's going to sit on top of that. So you're going to have to tilt it down and slide the tank forward. You're going to tilt it down and slide it out at this angle. Okay folks, after you have taken your drive shaft loose, your exhaust loose, set it out the way, taking it completely out of the way, you use your jack. Like I said, tilt the gas tank forward, down towards the front of the car, and once you do that, you'll be able to slide it back, slide it off of the top of the rear differential housing, and drop down. You'll get it out, and you'll really see I didn't take my drive shaft all the way out. I just leaned it to the side. There was no sense to take it all the way loose. You pull your fuel pump and tank out. Get on some good ground. Make sure you've cleaned all this off. I've already blowed it off. I just replaced this fuel pump for a customer about 3 weeks ago, but the fuel sending unit inside of it stopped working real fast shortly after it was installed. It's not a factory fuel pump, it's an aftermarket. I don't even know what the name of it is, but I'm taking it back out and go ahead and under warranty replacing the fuel pump with another one. And the place I got the fuel pump from is actually going to reimburse me some labor money. Okay, and on your fuel tank, after you get everything cleaned, these clips are the same as underneath the car to release. This here is just pretty much a level sending unit that tells you how much fuel is on this side, and it holds a hose that goes down inside of it that pulls fuel up into it for the opposite side of the tank. There's a lot of hoses that goes across the top of this. So what I mainly do is all of these pretty much come, if they're in good standards and people are smart, I actually put these on there myself because it keeps these connectors from coming loose. Once you've got them completely fastened, put a zip tie on there to hold it down. So I'm going to get me a cutter, cut those off. And once I do that, I'm going to take a good screwdriver and a brass hammer, and I'm actually going to take and I'm going to hit right here once without pointing it down into the gas tank. Don't point it down into it, you know. I hit it over here, a couple little taps, and over here a couple little taps, and over here a couple little taps to get it to turn. Or you can use a pair of channel locks to hold on to this area right here with one end of the channel lock and this side of the channel lock, and actually squeeze. I think that's the right way. Let me see. No, I know that's actually putting it on. So you use this area here and this area here to take it off, and this area here to put it on, if you're using a pair of channel locks. So this should tell you all your routing is pretty much the same. I don't necessarily even need to take and cut these plugs loose. I can actually leave them on there because my ring and spanner come all the way off of there. But I will have to take this hose here alone off, definitely, because I'm going to have to replace it with a new one. And those of you that are asking, yes, you will have to take this side loose also. So the same thing with this side. If you're using a pair of pliers or channel locks, if you're going to take it off, you're going to grab this side here with one end of the channel locks and here with the other end, and squeeze as hard as you can, and it should pop off. If not, you can always just tap right here, or right here is another little lip that you can hit just barely with your screwdriver and your hammer. So like I said, you will have to take that loose because the hose runs through the tank all the way across with a wire connector that you need to disconnect for the sending unit on this side that tells you the fuel level. This is the driver side of the vehicle, and this is the passenger side. The passenger side contains a fuel pump and a sending unit also. Okay, once you've knocked both your rings off and taken your hose loose, you go ahead and pull this up out of the hole. You don't necessarily need to pull it all the way up if you don't want to, but you're going to need to get it out of there enough that you can use your fingers. You're going to disconnect this red and black wire here, and this here. You're going to squeeze those pieces in, and you're going to slide it straight down, and that takes the bottom side of the fuel pickup tube off of this for the fuel for the opposite side. If you'll see, it's there. That may even be a return, I'd say, or this one is the return, one of the two, but either way. And then you're going to take your main fuel pump out off of this side. Very easy to do once you get your new one. Put them back in the way that you found it. All your hoses on the side the way you found them. Push them back into all their little clips because it'll help it hold and contain it. When you put the I don't think this one here I gotta take loose, so I'm gonna snap this one back on. I think this one here is made onto the tank. Yeah, I don't think I had to take that one off. No, I don't have to take that one off. Okay, so that being said, snap the rest of them and the lines down through there on the side of the tank as they go. Make sure when you put your fuel pump sending units and stuff back down in there that you don't have your armature here caught on anything. Make sure that you're lined up the same way it comes off. If you have to make marks before you take it loose where your spout is going to go. So that way you're not having to press down and twist and turn while you're pressing down. When you press down, you need to be able to put your ring on it and lock it. So this side here, I'm going to do the same thing. Take everything loose, and I'm getting ready to take this out and dump the gasoline out of this side of it. In reverse steps, putting this all back in. Make sure that all your hoses are connected properly once you put it back up underneath the vehicle and your straps on. Make sure you tighten your drive shaft bolts up properly, and cycle your ignition switch once or twice after you connect your battery terminal back on there so it can prime the system.